Ever watched a 3D printer in action and thought, wow, this tiny robot is slowly creating something I absolutely did not need, but emotionally must have. It moves line by line, layer by layer, like it's icing the world's smallest, hottest cake. And somehow, a few hours later, boom, there's a real object that used to only exist in your imagination. But how does this magical machine actually do it? How does a digital file turn into a physical thing you can hold, drop, break, and lose immediately? I'm Professor Everything, and today we'll be answering the question, how does 3D printing actually work? Right here on Explaining Everything. The big secret of 3D printing is surprisingly simple. It builds objects one thin layer at a time. Imagine if instead of sculpting a statue from a big rock, you made it by stacking 10,000 slices of a very patient pancake. Congratulations! You now understand 3D printing. Most household printers use something called FDM, Fused Deposition Modeling. Scientifically accurate, fancy-sounding, and absolutely something you can bring up at parties to appear smarter. Here's how it works. A spool of plastic filament, usually PLA or ABS, gets pulled in. The printer heats it until it melts, around 180 to 220 degrees Celsius, hotter than your ex's temper. The melted plastic gets squished out through a tiny nozzle. The nozzle moves around like it's drawing with hot glue, laying down one thin layer at a time. Then it stacks layer on top of layer until your object rises out of the plate like a very slow, very dramatic phoenix. The computer controls everything: the path, the speed, the temperature. Your printer basically follows a GPS for plastic, except if something goes wrong, instead of recalculating, it just makes spaghetti. And yes, every 3D printer owner has experienced spaghetti prints. Your design is supposed to be a phone stand, but the printer says, no, today we make pasta. Before the printer builds anything, it needs a plan. Because if you let a machine improvise, it will create nothing but regret and strange shapes. It all starts with a 3D model, created in software like Blender, Fusion 360, or downloaded from the sacred temple known as Thingivers. But the printer can't understand a full 3D model. It needs instructions. Robot instructions. Enter the slicer software. A slicer takes your 3D design and literally slices it into, well, slices. Thin layers, hundreds or thousands of them. Then it generates G-code, which is a list of precise commands like move here, heat this, squirt plastic now, don't mess up. That last one isn't real, but it should be. The slicer also decides how thick each layer is, how fast the nozzle moves, how strong the object will be, how much infill is inside, anything from 0% hollow to 100% solid brick. Fun fact, most 3D prints are not solid. They're filled with geometric patterns like honeycombs or zigzags because it saves material and still keeps things strong. Basically, 3D printers pioneered the idea. Why make a solid cube when you can make a fancy waffle inside it? Once the G-code is ready, you feed it to the printer, and the machine begins its very slow ritual of creation, humming and buzzing like a determined, slightly anxious cricket. Let's get a little more technical, but still fun. The real challenge of 3D printing isn't melting the plastic. It's making sure each layer sticks to the layer below it without turning the whole print into a shifty, collapsing Jenga tower. Here's what's happening. Melting. The nozzle heats the plastic just enough to melt it, but not enough to burn it. PLA burns into sadness and brown smoke. ABS burns into something that smells like a chemistry lab having a midlife crisis. Extruding. The printer pushes the exact amount of molten plastic through the nozzle. Too little, and your print has holes. Too much, and your object looks like it melted before it even finished. Cooling. This is crucial. The new layer must cool quickly enough to hold its shape, but slowly enough to bond with the previous layer. That's why the printer has a tiny fan blowing on your object like it's trying to cool down hot soup. During printing, the plastic undergoes thermal contraction. It shrinks slightly as it cools. If the cooling is uneven, your print can warp, peel off the bed, or attempt to escape the machine entirely, like it has dreams and ambitions. Printers fight this using heated beds, enclosures, strong adhesives, and sometimes sheer emotional support from you staring at it for 5 hours. While FDM is the common one, there are cooler, fancier 3D printing techniques. SLA, stereolithography, uses UV lasers to cure liquid resin. Prints are super smooth, but the resin smell could summon demons. SLS, selective laser sintering, uses a laser to fuse powdered material. It's like watching a sci-fi sandpit turn into real objects. These methods don't use melted plastic threads. They use chemical curing or powdered fusing. But the same principle remains, layer by layer, until the object exists. They're more accurate, more detailed, and more expensive. Basically, the VIP section of 3D printing. So, how does 3D printing actually work? It's a beautiful combo of melting, stacking, cooling, and precision, powered by computers, physics, and your questionable decisions at 2 a.m. 3D printers take a digital idea, slice it into layers, and build it up one thin step at a time until you're left holding a real, physical object. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.